Hello, Barcelona family. Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel to know everything about Barcelona. In this video, we have a huge revelation concerning Barcelona, but before that, we need to discuss some very important topics about our beloved club. Let's move to the first one. Martin Zubimendi is keeping all of Europe on edge with his decision regarding his future, but in this story, there is something that, as Cules, we cannot ignore. Barcelona is very attentive, very present, and more than ready to assert itself strongly in an operation that many considered to be leaning towards other destinations. While the Madrid media insists on positioning Real Madrid as the favorite and the English press talks about Arsenal as the most serious candidate, the offices at Camp Nou are working silently, intelligently, and determinedly to attempt what many consider impossible, dressing Zubimendi in blue and garnet. And this is not a whim or an improvised move. Zubimendi perfectly embodies the type of footballer that has always corresponded to Barcelona's model of play, a cerebral midfielder with silent hierarchy, capable of supporting the game with balance, vision, precision, and uncommon tactical ability. His profile not only matches the footballing needs of the team but also responds to an idea: building a midfield with identity, control, and competitive character. A midfield capable of thinking and executing with clarity that recalls the great organizers of our history. From a strategic point of view, the move also has enormous symbolic value. Taking a priority recruitment away from Madrid has always been a way of marking territory, of reminding who the true benchmark of Spanish football is, the club that not only trains the best but also knows how to attract the smartest. Zubimendi has been designated by Xabi Alonso as a key piece of his project at Chamartin. What better way to shake up the chessboard than to snatch him away and make him shine in the temple of associative play? The footballer trained at Real Sociedad has clearly expressed on several occasions his admiration for a style of play based on the ball, pause, and precision. That is why, although his entourage flirts with Arsenal and listens respectfully to Madrid's proposal, what can truly change the equation is a call from Camp Nou, a clear bet, without detours, that guarantees him protagonism and growth within an ambitious, young, and soulful project. Barcelona does not just offer him minutes, but offers him to belong to an idea of football that marked an era and is determined to be reborn with more strength than ever. Barcelona fans have reasons to be excited. Zubimendi represents the type of player who respects the ball, who understands the timing of the game, and who never loses his cool. He is not a front-page media player, he does not hog the flashes, but on the field, he makes the difference with every pass, every cover, every move that does not appear in the highlights but defines matches. And precisely, that is what is valued in a club like ours, where collective play prevails over individual ego. For all these reasons, it is clear that the operation is not only possible but necessary. Halting Madrid's advance, preventing them from strengthening a critical position with a player so identifiable with our style, and moreover adding him to our cause, is a masterstroke. And yes, we know it will not be easy, that the clause is high, that there is competition, that there are pressures, but we also know that Barcelona is capable of seducing with arguments that go beyond money. History, style, vision of the game, and above all, an exciting sports project. Zubimendi could become that signing that marks a before and after. A signing that not only strengthens a vital area of the field but also sends a clear message to Madridismo. Barcelona is back to move the pieces, and it has done so with intelligence and audacity. The club does not need to react to what others do. It has its roadmap, and on it, Martin Zubimendi occupies a privileged place. Because if Real Madrid is looking for heirs for its midfield, we are building a new era from possession, criteria, and order. Zubimendi also fits the profile of footballers who have always made history at Barcelona. Disciplined, humble, hard-working, with a privileged reading of the game. It is no coincidence that many analysts see him as the ideal midfielder for a team that wants to become dominant again from the ball. He is a player who does not need spectacle to stand out. His football is subtle, elegant, and effective. And this type of player, who sacrifices, organizes, and supports the team in times of difficulty, is precisely what this new Barcelona needs, which is being built with a clear idea: to return to the top with author football. And let's not forget that recruiting Zubimendi also has an emotional component. His story at Real Sociedad, his journey through the lower categories of the national team, his patient and sustained growth. All of this connects with Barcelona's values. Here we value work, progression, commitment, and he has shown to have all of that and more. He has not let himself be carried away by the siren songs before his time. He has not changed shields every 6 months. He has not sold his talent to the highest bidder. Zubimendi has built his career with patience and consistency. And now that he is ready for the next step, Barcelona appears as the logical, natural, deserved destination. Meanwhile, in Madrid, they cling to the nostalgia of their former glories. They talk about Xabi Alonso as if he were a guarantee of immediate success, but the truth is that they have not even shown a clear willingness to undertake the operation. Zubimendi awaits a gesture, a call, a signal that does not come. And that gives us an advantage: determination. If Barcelona goes for it, it will do so decisively, because here, there is a plan, here we know what we want and why. Arsenal, for its part, plays with economic muscle, but we all know that in the Premier League, millions are distributed with too much ease and with little criteria. What real football project do they have for Zubimendi? To be one more in a league where speed and impact prevail over control and tactics? Is it not closer to his essence, the football of Barcelona, the one that takes care of the pass, that dominates matches from serenity and order? It is a message, it is a coup of authority, it is a moral victory before the season begins. Would it not be the perfect signing to strengthen the heart of the team? Is it not the ideal opportunity to demonstrate that Barcelona is more alive than ever, that it not only builds from within but also knows how to look outside and bring in what it needs? I have it clear. Zubimendi is one of those players who raise the level of an entire team without the need for grand speeches. The second piece of news concerns an important decision about our beloved club. The future of Joan Garcia has entered a decisive and exciting phase that has the Barcelona supporters on the edge of their seats. The sports management of Barcelona has taken a firm and courageous step to secure the recruitment of the young goalkeeper from Espanyol, one of the most promising talents in Spanish football in his position. The proposal is already on the table, and everything indicates that this is a strategic bet that goes far beyond the short term. The Blaugrana entity, always characterized by its medium and long-term vision, has identified Joan as a profile that perfectly fits its style of play, its training philosophy, and its need to plan the goalkeeper position intelligently. This move, which is already generating debates in the sports media and among Cule supporters, demonstrates that Barcelona is not only thinking about strengthening the first team with big names, but also about consolidating a solid foundation for the future. Joan Garcia, at 23 years old, has distinguished himself not only for his performances between the posts, but also for his maturity, serenity, and personality on the field, qualities that undoubtedly make him an ideal goalkeeper for a team that bets on ball possession, play from the back, and game control with criteria. However, Barcelona's plan is not rushed. It is not about recruiting Joan and immediately placing him as a starter, but about securing his link with the club before other European giants can get ahead and decide on a competitive environment within the league. The club that convinces all parties the most is Real Betis, an entity with a stable sports project, an offensive and ambitious style of play, and demanding supporters who could accelerate Joan's growth as a professional. From the player's entourage, this option is also viewed favorably, as it guarantees continuity, important minutes, and an ideal context to consolidate himself in the elite. It is worth noting that this is not the first time Barcelona has bet on this type of operation. Throughout its history, the club has known how to anticipate market movements, securing young talents before they definitively explode. Joan Garcia could be the next on this list of players who, after a growth stage on loan at other clubs, return to Camp Nou as key pieces for the future. In this case, the goalkeeper position is particularly delicate, and the club wants to be prepared in time for any transition that may occur in the coming years. Espanyol, for its part, is fully aware of the value of its goalkeeper and is not willing to negotiate below the €25 million in his release clause. They know that Joan is one of their most precious assets, perhaps the most important at the moment, and do not want to lose him without obtaining fair economic compensation. However, they are also aware that if the player decides to take the step and bets on growth in a larger club, it will be very difficult for them to retain him. The player's desire can be decisive in unlocking the operation. And this is where Barcelona's role comes into play, as a training club, a global football benchmark, and a desired destination for many young talents. Joan has never hidden his admiration for the Cule style of play, the academy model, and the way player growth is managed. In this sense, making the leap to Barcelona means much more than changing teams. It means integrating into a unique football ecosystem, where every position on the field has a precise function, and where the goalkeeper is not just about stopping balls but actively participates in building the game. Additionally, the interest from Premier League teams like Arsenal or Manchester City cannot be ignored. Both have closely followed Joan's evolution, and although there have been contacts, the reality is that none of these clubs can guarantee him a starting position from the first moment. And Joan, who is clear that he needs minutes and protagonism to continue growing, is not willing to be a luxury substitute. His goal is clear, to be a fundamental piece wherever he plays, and everything indicates that the project offered by Barcelona, with a smart loan to Betis as the first step, is the one that best fits his aspirations. Joan Garcia's horizon also includes the Spanish national team. The 2026 World Cup is within reach, and consolidating himself as one of the best young goalkeepers in the country is key to being part of the final squad. To achieve this, he needs to play every week at the highest level, face renowned rivals, and accumulate experience in demanding contexts. That is why an intermediate stage like Betis, within a roadmap that leads him to Camp Nou, is a perfectly designed plan to achieve these goals. As a Cule, I can only applaud this decision by the sports management. Instead of looking for immediate solutions with large investments, they are betting on national talent, on young players with the hunger to grow and the necessary character to succeed. Joan represents all of this. He has the technique, he has the reflexes, but above all, he has a work ethic and a drive to overcome that matches the values that have always defined our club. He is undoubtedly a goalkeeper for the present and the future. The operation also has an important symbolic dimension. Recruiting a gem from the eternal city rival is not just a strong message. The talent that is born nearby can also find its home at Camp Nou. And if that talent really wants to triumph, it knows it must wear blue and garnet. Joan, with his discreet but ambitious profile, seems to understand this perfectly. He wants to grow, he wants to improve, and he wants to do it within the framework of the project that offers him the most long-term guarantees. To the attention of the Cule supporters, who have always been demanding but also very intelligent, I pose a direct question. What do you think of this operation? Personally, I believe we are facing a brilliant move. It is not just about signing a promising goalkeeper but about building the future from the ground up, with firm steps, without haste but without pause. Betting on Joan Garcia is betting on sports intelligence, medium-term planning, and national talent. It is taking a step forward without losing sight of the identity that makes us unique. Joan is not coming to save anything or occupy headlines immediately. He is coming to build, to learn, to progress. But if everything goes as planned, in a few years, we will be talking about a goalkeeper who not only defends our goal but represents everything we want to be as a club. Because at Barcelona, we do not recruit just to recruit. We recruit with vision, with meaning, with commitment. And Joan has everything it takes to become an important name in the history of this club. I hope the agreement is concluded soon and that we can proudly say that the future of our goal is in good hands. The third piece of news concerns a spectacular movement within the club. Barcelona is on the verge of finalizing one of the most desired and strategic recruitments in recent years. Rafael Leao, one of the great gems of current European football, is increasingly close to becoming a new Blaugrana player after making the firm decision to leave Milan. The Portuguese winger, who has shown brightly in Serie A, has reached an agreement with the sports management of the Catalan club, and in Italy, it is already considered that his destination will be the Camp Nou. According to the renowned portal Calcio Football, specialized in Italian football market information, it is only a matter of time before the official announcement is made. Leao's arrival represents much more than a simple incorporation. It is a clear message from Barcelona to the European football landscape. The process has not been simple. 4 months, Leao has been on the list of great desires of the Blaugrana sports managers. His ability to unbalance, his physical power, versatility, and creativity in the final meters made him an ideal option to strengthen the attacking front. It is no coincidence that teams of the caliber of Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea, or Manchester City have also closely followed his situation. But despite the temptations of the English and French markets, the Portuguese international has favored the Barcelona project. He saw in Barcelona the perfect scenario to continue growing as a footballer and to make the definitive leap to the most demanding elite of world football. Leao, who definitively exploded at Milan after seasons of progressive growth, considers that his cycle in Italy has come to an end. Although he has been a fundamental piece in the Rossoneri team, he feels that the time has come to take on a new challenge in a football context more in line with his characteristics and with greater collective aspirations. The Spanish league, with its technical, tactical, and competitive component, presents itself as the ideal environment to exploit all its virtues. And Barcelona, with its game idea based on control, possession, and positional attack, represents the natural habitat for a footballer of his profile. The operation, which has been carried out with total discretion by the Blaugrana leaders, is in its final phase. Leao will sign for 6 seasons with the Catalan club, which will be one of the most important movements of the summer. The agreement provides for a competitive salary, adapted to the club's current economic policy, with a termination clause that will reflect the player's dimension and his status in the squad. The official announcement could arrive in the coming days, once the last administrative details are resolved between the clubs. Leao's arrival not only strengthens the team from a sporting point of view but also represents a declaration of ambition from Barcelona. The recruitment of the Portuguese demonstrates that the club remains a reference for the great talents of the planet, that its appeal is still present, and that its sports project continues to generate enthusiasm and confidence. Despite the economic difficulties it has had to face in recent times, Barcelona has known how to reinvent itself, adapt, and maintain intact its capacity for seduction. And in this case, it has managed to impose itself in a European auction to sign a player who will mark an era. Leao is a winger like few others. His ability to face defenses, his explosive change of pace, his skill in one-on-one situations, and his flair for goal make him a lethal weapon on the left flank, although he can also perform as a centre-forward or even on the right. His privileged physique allows him to withstand the shock, protect the ball, and break lines with power. But in addition, his refined technique and game vision make him a complete footballer, one of those who can decide a match with an individual action but who also knows how to associate, temporize, and participate in the creation of collective plays. During his time at Milan, he left memorable performances, demonstrating personality in big matches and assuming offensive responsibilities with maturity. He was decisive in key matches, both in Serie A and in European competitions, and clearly showed that he did not tremble at the crucial moment. This accumulated experience will be an added value for Barcelona, which needs players capable of performing at the highest level from day one. However, Leao's recruitment will involve movements in the squad. Hansi Flick has been clear with the sports management. He wants a competitive, balanced, and adjusted squad in numbers. In this sense, the arrival of the Portuguese will cause the departure of 2 forwards who do not fit into the German coach's plans. The bet on Leao is so firm that it has been decided to make room in the squad and in the total wage bill of the team by giving an exit to players who have not managed to consolidate themselves as important pieces in recent seasons. This type of decision, however painful it may be for some sectors of the supporters, is necessary when it comes to building a team with real aspirations to return to the top of European football. Barcelona needs a leap in quality, and Leao represents exactly that, an incorporation that can make the difference. A footballer in full sporting maturity, with projection, ambition, and a profile that is rare in the current market. His recruitment is not only an immediate improvement for the team, but also a strategic investment for the future. Furthermore, the operation has received the total green light from Flick, who considers Leao an ideal piece for his offensive scheme. The German appreciates his ability to attack spaces, his intensity in pressing, and his ability to participate in the construction of the game. Leao is a footballer who can fit into different systems, whether as a pure winger, as a second striker, or even as an offensive midfielder in certain contexts. His versatility gives him an added value that the technical staff has known how to appreciate from the first moment. From the player's entourage, enthusiasm for this new stage is also conveyed. Leao and his entourage believe that Barcelona represents a step forward in his career and that, under Flick's direction, he will be able to reach his maximum potential. The Portuguese is convinced that he can become a reference in the Blaugrana team and a prominent figure in world football. He is excited about the possibility of playing in a stadium like the Camp Nou, surrounded by demanding and passionate supporters, and being part of an institution that breathes history and greatness. The question now is for the Cule supporters. What do you think of this recruitment? Do you believe that Rafael Leao can be the differential player the team needs to reconquer Europe? Expectations are high, and it is no wonder. Because when talent, ambition, and history meet, the only thing that can emerge is greatness. Leave us your opinion in the comments.